Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm super. I've got a happy Tommy with me today.
Morning, Tommy. Morning, gorgeous.
So hi.
Who's that in the computer? Who's that funny woman?
So he's a happy one today. We like that.
Yay. So did you see it come up on Facebook this morning? 2 years ago today, that I looked so much younger. COVID's really taken it out of me. I was like, I look about 10 years younger.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like I read it and I literally got a big lump in my throat. Like that decision to close the doors was, well.
It was hard because now it looked back and it's like, well, it's obvious it had to happen. It was happening everywhere. But when in the moment, we weren't sure. We didn't know if it was the right thing. We didn't know if it was just going to be like blow over. Some people were like, oh, it's just like flu. What's all the fuss? Some people were like, it's deadly and it's coming. And it was just like, we were in the middle going, which is pretty much, I guess, where everybody who had to make these decisions was. But yeah.
I think for us as well, there was we had sort of circumstances where we could continue certain things, and for us, wasn't it, because of sort of respite and things like that?
Yeah, there were certain ways that
we had to really balance it all up, didn't we? It was really hard.
Yes, it wasn't cut and dry for us. It wasn't like, oh, you run this and it's this. It was ultimately Casper exists to create social connection. So when that's taken away, then what do you have? You need to really work to make that happen. Morning, Ellen.
But it's mad. 2 years. Think what we've achieved in 2 years now.
Oh, well, and that's what I've put today on Facebook. You know, we've grown exponentially. We've had at least 200 members join since COVID. We eventually are still increasing our income every year on year. We have still grown. It's weird, isn't it? Because when you look at the books and stuff like that, it's like it never happened.
Yeah.
Considering what could have happened. But what it was a massive catalyst for change and development.
Yeah.
So where we were doing, even just with finances, we were doing subs every month. There's a set amount of people could come. We suddenly had to just rethink everything. Go pay as you go, which meant we could involve more people, which meant then, just everything changed. I think Casper's become more light on its feet, even more efficient, which is, it's been amazing.
It most definitely has. But that leads us nicely on to what we were talking about last week of the subs and the change.
Yeah.
And the new platform that is arriving shortly, Love Admin.
We hope we do. We hope we love it.
Yeah, we will. We've got Casper, Liz and Sam and that tomorrow, and Casper, Kim, I believe, are all on training for it.
Fantastic. That's really
good. That we're ready to, really roll it out, start talking to everyone, answer everyone's questions.
Yes.
And really get flying with it.
And I haven't really heard anyone amongst our membership say things like, oh, I love parent mail. I'm really going to miss it.
No.
I think we're going to be all right.
I definitely think for Casper, Liz, she definitely will not miss parent mail.
It's a great thing, but it's had its time with us, and we need to move on.
Even just the name for us, isn't it? It doesn't fit with us.
No, exactly, because we have people doing their own bookings, obviously the over 18s and potentially even over 16s. As we go along, we want to empower people, not infantilize them. Their parents don't need to be involved in some of this. So, absolutely. And along with that, of course, we are having to introduce a new annual subscription, which to become a Casper member, you'll be paying £15 a year for your Love Admin account. And that enables you to access everything to do with Casper. So for that £15, you will get parent support, which is immense. If you access it for everything we have to offer. We have family walks and all of those kind of things, all the family activities, all of the one-off events like tea parties and, all of that kind of thing, doesn't it? And all the Zooms, so like anime, Pokemon, whatever Zoom's going
Special
on.
interest, LGBTQ, anything.
Late diagnosis. Yeah. And then we will retain the pay-as-you-go approach to clubs and services, like the core clubs and services. But again, we reiterate 2 key things. We are a charity. However, we know that a lot of our parents are very willing and able to pay towards the cost of their children's clubs and services, like we all do for everything else, like we do for football club, like we do for dance, like we do for drama. And the most important thing is, if somebody cannot afford to come to Casper because they cannot afford the £5.25 or the £5.50 an hour, or actually £4 an hour, which is what the seniors one is, then please talk to us. Talk to us. We save 10% of our places on each service, as long as it's not kind of like a particularly specialist service, like the we'll try to work something out, but clubs and services, we save 10% of those spaces for people who perhaps aren't financially, or who are financially struggling. So we can come to arrangements, or some people will not have to pay. If we can get funding, then we will do everything we can. So never let money be a reason why your child or you cannot access Casper. We will try to do our best. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, the price that parents and carers and people pay towards their activities does not cover the place of your child on that, because we have high ratios of staff. We have, obviously, we don't skimp on resources, trampolines, whatever it, we've got expensive equipment, we've got specialist staff, and they are never more. In fact, over the history of time, the cost of Casper's come down. Yeah. So when I first started nearly 20 years ago, the parents were paying £10 cash to have their child at Casper for 2 hours. So that's £5 an hour. And now I pay for my son to access the same club, Casper Seniors, nearly 20 years later, £4 an hour, because that one's going to go up to £8 a session. So, it's reasonable childcare / specialist support. Okay, I will get on my soapbox now. And
but, like Helen said, please get in contact with us. We don't want financial reasons to be the reason that's stopping you from accessing Casper. We literally cannot say that enough. We will jump out of planes. We will try and do everything, literally.
I mean, I'm not going to jump out of a plane. You can jump out of a plane. I'll climb a mountain or run a marathon, but I'm not jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, see, I'll do that, and I'm doing wing walking. I'm going to make William do wing walking with me. Because William's up to that. But yeah, so on the clubs front, that's that coming. It's very exciting at the minute. We've got lots of stuff. The Easter is out. Lots of it is.
Oh, I know. I've booked.
Fully booked. So it's very exciting. And then we're planning May and the summer. So it's all looking very, very, very good.
And it's all looking very summery at the moment. So it's exciting to talk about those activities.
It's so nice when the sun's out, isn't it?
No, it makes a massive difference.
So then we've got to talk about the week we've just had.
Oh, wow.
What a busy, busy week. We've been saying, haven't we, how it's just been extremely full on.
Intense.
Especially behind the scenes. And, obviously at the club is so full on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's very exciting. Lots of stuff going on. We've been going to lots of meetings. What sort of meetings have you had last week?
Last week, I've got 2 really exciting ones today, actually, but I'll tell you about those in a minute. Right, last week I had some good meetings with Successful Mums was one of mine. So there's an organisation called Successful Mums, as you know, that are based in Hayes, and they help women who've had children get back into work, get confidence, CV writing, all of that kind of stuff. And they've got some funding from the Mayor's office to work with charities and other organisations to kind of, mutually support. I guess it's definitely mutually beneficial because, we're then posting our job vacancies and stuff like that with them. So our HR officer role, which we are recruiting for, we've put that with those lovely ladies. And then, for example, we've been working on a menopause policy. So I don't know if you've heard, but in government, there's been quite a lot of talk about menopause, about recognising its impact on people who experience menopause, and how workplaces need to be really up on that, because it can really affect somebody's, mental health, moods, physical health, everything else. So, one of the things that's come out of our partnership with Successful Mums at the moment is we now have a menopause policy. We developed it and kind of made it unique to Casper, or Casperized it. And then we're working with them to increase their kind of inclusive language on their policies around gender, but also around obviously neurodiversity. So it's that's a really interesting one. Anyway, sorry, went off a bit on that. Oh, we had our photos done last week for the new website, didn't we? At the cafe. So the lovely Harriet Buckingham, photographer extraordinaire, came down and took the photo. I haven't seen them actually. I've seen some of them. They look absolutely stunning. Haven't seen mine. Maybe she's hiding it. Maybe it wasn't so good. I met with our lovely Ellen, who's doing lots of work with us last week. She ran the first aid course on Sunday, didn't she?
Yeah. So we had 11 staff on Sunday at the Casper Cafe, and we was lucky enough to collaborate with the gorgeous lady from Lay Witness. I've got that right.
Yeah. International Lay Witnesses for Christ.
That's it. I always miss the international bit.
Jennifer?
One of Jennifer's staff came on the course as well, which was really lovely because we're hoping to do some more work together.
Brilliant, because they run Destiny Children's Club, which is an SEN club, very aligned to CASPA in terms of its values and approach. It's just that they have more generic criteria in terms of SEND, whereas we're kind of more heavily on, we are actually just autistic and neurodivergent with other things in the mix. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's lovely working with other charities, and a lot of this is part of the forum. So the forum has got us all together, isn't it? So that's the Bromley Children and Families Voluntary Sector Forum. Yeah. So, and it's nice. It's sort of allowing us all to meet and be in different meetings. I was lucky enough to be in one the other evening with you, Helen, wasn't it? And it was talking about post-COVID and how it's really the charity concept of managing growth whilst with post-pandemic fatigue. So like we said earlier, we've grown hugely, and now we're looking forward to more growth. We have to grow because we've got waiting lists coming out of every orifice, and yet our workforces are fatigued because we've had to just heads down and deal with everything that COVID has thrown at us for the last couple of years. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. So on that meeting, I was lucky enough to meet them Kinship Carers charity. Oh yes, they're amazing. And I'm meeting with them tomorrow at the cafe. So Kinship Carers is a wonderful charity that's grandparents that now have full care of their grandchildren. Yeah. For whatever reason. They're a very hidden group in society. Completely. And from speaking with Casper Liz, we have a fair few grandparents that have, we always have, haven't we, over the years? Yeah. So it's really interesting. So, I can't wait to meet them tomorrow to see how we can support them with the sort of autism side and neurodiversity side, and just really work together. Because like we know, it's the loneliness, isn't it? It's the feeling alone. It's the not finding your people. It's the not finding your groove as such. And having people not understand. So what I found with Kinship Carers, obviously I've met them a few times through the forum, is that no matter what parents, like the difference between parents and young people and generationally, it's like we don't get their phone thing, we don't get this, we don't necessarily get that, but we're kind of clinging on in there, getting it. But when you've got a whole generation in between and your grandparents looking after young people who are digitally much more advanced than you are, and all of that, as well as all the emotional stuff, which, because when you think about it, there's always a reason why grandparents are the kinship carer, right? That's to save children going into foster care. That is entirely the reason, is to save them having to go into the care of the state. So there's going to be emotional, challenges. Yeah. But people don't really understand that. They kind of think the grandparents should be up there like the parents would with understanding, but it's not possible. It was on the meeting. They said what really struck a chord for me, which is like, I need to just meet with these wonderful people and see if we can work together. Was they said that during the lockdown, we all talk about lockdown and things, and saying about how we had to go onto Zoom. Yeah, that's a challenge, right? Yeah, that was a challenge for us. Saying, we didn't even have laptops. No. And then some of the support meetings that were set up by the local authority were set up on Teams. Yeah. They haven't even got a laptop. They haven't got Teams. They may not even have internet. It's just exclusionary. The whole thing was, And I just thought, that's
It's what we do best, right? We reach out to people and we support people.
And a lot of their kids and grandchildren will have additional needs, autism, etc.
So I'm really excited about that meeting tomorrow.
Can I just quickly say, yes, Lindsay, you're right, because Lindsay has lived experience of exactly that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And it's just, I think, the more people that reach out and we can all work together, for me, it's really exciting to be sort of looking into working.
But you know what, talking about meetings and also working together, another one that I had last week, which was amazing, which is always amazing. And I actually really, really enjoy this group, even though it's quite hardcore and sometimes very serious stuff, is the Bromley Safeguarding Adults Board.
Yeah.
Now, we've joined this because of our massive explosion in adult services. But the people on there are just amazing, the things that they're dealing with. And I find it really forward thinking. I find that board, the Adult Safeguarding Board, very progressive and very, very, very strong. And there's a guy called Boulant who runs it, and he works for the local authority. So it just makes me feel really like, they've got this in hand. I feel like the local authority are really quite strong on the adult safeguarding side. That was a good one.
Yeah. It's really
more than that, and somebody who's about to come. When I look down my meetings now, I've always got meetings. But on that one day, on Wednesday last week, 2 of my key meetings were with people who have come through as members and are now working professionally with us. So that was Ellen, but it was also Jenny, Casper Jenny, and working on the website, on the wording, on the inclusive language. And it's just so where we wanted to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that people that were receiving our services were embedded in the delivery of those services. We're fading away, Sarah, and these people are coming through and doing absolutely incredible work for us. So
they definitely are. And speaking of which, we have a gorgeous lady in our. Oh,
we let her in.
Yes. Sorry, we've just dropped a bottle.
That's all right. As long as you didn't drop the baby, it's all good. Hello. Good morning, Ellen. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Exhausted after yesterday. I have to say, I had no idea CASPA staff could be so challenging.
Really? I am surprised.
That's what we're best at.
Is that because
putting them all in one room together?
Is that because they're vibrant, questioning, have lots of humour, neurodiverse?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant, but so exhausting to be trying to deliver training to them, and they're having a chat and they have a million questions, and it was brilliant. But I went home yesterday absolutely exhausted. It felt like a junior session, to be quite honest. Just a really long junior session.
Oh, well done for managing not to leave. Just walk out and I've had enough. So, Ellen, we were just talking about how for us it's a dream to have wonderful folks like you and Jenny and many others, Sam and William, all sorts of people that have kind of come to Casper as members, or service users, you could say, if we're going to be really kind of formal about it, and who are now working with us, working alongside us, leading us, etc. William says hello, by the way. William Mansell says hello, Ellen. Bless him.
Hi, Will.
And so for you, what does that kind of, do you want to kind of give your perspective? I know we haven't asked you to prepare anything, but what's your perspective on that? What are you doing now at Casper? Kind of just give us a little brief, your journey.
So I joined CASPA as a member in July. Came staff then in November, working with some of the clubs. So I help with juniors, sometimes 16 plus, some of the adult groups during the day as well. And it's really fascinating to see it from both sides. To be there as a member for some things and then a staff for others. And so I get an overview of how everything is working within CASPA and how it all works and what's happening in the background and the effort that goes into planning everything for CASPA activities. And that's a huge amount of work that's been done in the background by everyone to run everything that's happening. I'm now running this upcycling fashion show.
Yes, amazing.
Helping to lead with that. And now that I'm leading something actually and doing all that extra work in the background, I can see actually, it's a lot of work and trying to make sure you have everything, and it's not a case of you turn up and everything's magically there.
Exactly.
Which as a member you sort of think, oh, everything's there all the time.
Hopefully you don't
but
have
actually
to
there's a lot of sort of rushing around in the background to get everything there.
That's absolutely true. It hits upon something that is important, and that is that it looks like, hopefully, to members and parents, that it's quite effortless. So like you say, you turn up, you drop your child off, and they're going to do inspiring, fun group activities, which are going to improve their social communication skills and awareness. Like it sounds like it's just really obvious, but underneath it's meticulous, and it's not just about having the resources, it's about each child, who's going to engage, who's not going to engage, how are we going to manage the dynamics, all of that safeguarding, all of the stuff that goes on underneath genuinely is like a swan. Everything's going, and then hopefully the services are kind of going like that most of the time.
I think as well what's really important about what Ellen was saying as well is
that's definitely how it appears to be. There's that frantic paddling underneath and before and after to make sure everything is ready beforehand, and then everything has been caught up on afterwards if there's anything that people need to be aware of, or that you need to be made aware of. And then the clubs just run, and they run fairly smoothly, and I've found it quite fascinating to see it from both sides.
That's nice. That's good.
And the support then as a member is just amazing. I completely underestimated that when I was just a member. Now as staff, I've realised actually, the amount of times that staff have reached out to me after clubs where, maybe I've been upset about something, or it wasn't, particularly when I started and was adjusting to it and things like that, or things were triggering me and just, being autistic. And staff would reach out and check in on me afterwards. But a lot of that, they're also doing that in their own time.
Yeah.
Just checking in to see if I'm okay, or even support from the two of you. I mean, nobody expects to get a text at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, but I know I've gotten that from you in the past, Helen. So it's, I have found CASPA has definitely gone above and beyond what I ever expected it to be.
Nice. Well, you are now part of what is delivering that, if you know what I mean. So that's what we were talking about last week, wasn't it? That's the powerful thing. And what you guys are doing now, so you, Sam Richardson, Jenny, all of these people that have kind of come as members and are trying to do this balance between being a member and being totally yourself, and being totally, able to have your struggles in life, whatever might be going on for you guys, and also transitioning to staff and the professionalism, and how you realize that how as soon as you step into that role, when you have that Casper t-shirt on, people rely on you, like whether you like it or not. They see that you have strength, power, dignity, you will help them. And that is what is a really interesting, really fast learning process for us, like as an organization. And when we go for funding and all of those kind of things, conversations are always about how service users should be at the heart of what we're doing, and how do they inform your practices, whatever. But actually the best way for us to do that is to just have you as staff. But there are challenges, and it's really, really lovely and interesting to see it.
There are definitely challenges to be a member and staff, because like you said, once I have the t-shirt on, I am completely professional. But then when I'm there as a member, sometimes I do still have times when actually it can get a little bit much.
Of course.
I'm trying to find that sort of a balancing that I do sort of try to remove myself when that happens.
I feel like we should be capturing it, Ellen. I feel like we should be capturing it so that we can write it into some kind of, not policy, but like proceed that. So some of the struggles, so that, people that come after you, for example, might be able to read about the thing, like the little insights, because we'll forget. At some point, it will seem really easy, and we'll forget about the kind of transition. So I wonder if we can find a way of maybe just diarise it, just kind of noting things when they happen and how we got through them, or how you kind of dealt with them, because that would be fascinating, wouldn't it? Yeah. And every staff member is going to be different, right? So
yeah, I can definitely look at. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I do think now that there is a group of us who are staff and members, and actually we support each other because we understand the struggles. This is new to you.
Staff subgroup. We need a small subgroup of sharing. Yeah, okay, I'm just actioning that one right now.
Like on a Monday evening after we have club, there's a large group of us that goes to Wetherspoons afterwards, and sometimes those of us who are staff and members will break away and we'll have our own little moaning session about the difficulties of being staff and members. And so we can support each other that way. So it doesn't feel quite sort of like I'm the only one who understands this, or I'm the only one going through this, and nobody else will get it. But we have we've formed our own little internal support group.
Brilliant. Well, we'll talk further about that, because I think that could be a really powerful thing, because then you join together as a voice, and then talk to the organisation about these things would be helpful, these things wouldn't, etc. And then, I think that's a brilliant opportunity to have like a member to staff group. How does it happen? Because some people like Sam Richardson have been with us since he was about 7, like little. He's literally grown up in Casper.
Yeah.
And now he's working. And on the first surface, that sounds like incredible. And it is incredible. But there must also be struggles, that or challenges we have to go through. So what piece of work are you doing for me, Ellen, which I'm absolutely beyond grateful for?
Policies. I love policies, which most people think is really weird and hate having to read them. But no, I absolutely love reading policies. I am that person who reads the terms and conditions before I take the "Have you read the terms and conditions" box that everyone automatically takes. I am that person. I love. I love the whole policies aspect of things, and actually that's quite a good way to get sort of the difficult. So like the equality policy I did last week, some of that I have actually written. I think there's a little paragraph on members, autistic staff members. And it's just a little thing, but actually, there is. Sometimes they might need a different way of things being approached, or perhaps I know there are certain activities at juniors that kinetic sand, you are never going to find me near it. I just sensory wise, I just cannot deal with it. So it's just about being aware of those little things, and it's the policy aspect of things and the whole making sure everything is running smoothly in the background. I know that's not everyone's thing. Not everyone is going to enjoy looking at policies and having to read them, and definitely not having to write them and research and do everything for that. But I find all that really interesting. I love to know the background behind things and how things work and why they are the way they are and why they have to be certain ways and things like that.
No, it's an amazing piece of work for us, because obviously keeping up with policy developments is something that's really important, and it's something that I've had to do obviously over the years, but then people like you come along and just make our lives so much easier. It's amazing.
No, I'm happy to do this.
So William's saying that all the staff are bonkers. I mean, I'm sure that's not true.
I think I popped up at the right moment then, as you read that.
And there she comes.
I'm here. No, I think like what Ellen's saying as well is really powerful, and the fact that like we had you had a meeting. Sorry, the screen goes the wrong way and it really kerfuffles me. I never know which way to move. Try moving, Ellen. Does it baffle you as well? Because it's sort of, I'm going that way.
It did. The first time my fringe was in my eyes, and I went to do that because that's the way it is on my, and yeah.
It's really bizarre.
I don't do mirror image very well.
Yeah. So Ellen was saying, and obviously you met with Ellen, I met with another member of staff last week and heard the feedback. And sometimes I think it's always good to have feedback, right? Always good.
Always.
And what I love about Casper is
yes, Tommy, exactly.
That we can all be quite brutally honest with each other, even when it's not that nice to hear. But it's all for the better for Casper, right? And that's what we all hear. So we might sort of go, okay. And it's how we reflect on it, put it as an organisation and move it forwards. And like you say, Ellen, what I love is Casper is about finding your people, your support, your crew type thing, and not being socially isolated. You've gone into a new phase of your life where you've gone from a member to a staff member, and you still found your crew to do that with. Like that just speaks volumes to me of everything that Casper is, that you've got that support to be able to go, oh, what about this and what about that? And you can support each other and feed back to us so that we can make sure that we are always
right.
Yeah. And my big thing, I don't want anyone to cope ever. Hate that word. Absolutely hate it. I want us to strive and keep striving. So being told, actually we're doing this really wrong, or you're not doing this, or actually your area of weakness, like for instance myself, I'm quite dyslexic. So give me something quite a lot to read, I'm a bit like, Helen, help me out here. And it's nice to know your strengths within your team. So when you could, I've got to tap out of this, it's not me. We can do that. And I think that's what's really powerful about Casper.
Yeah, no, indeed. Definitely. And just to keep trying. Like we were talking, we're never going to get everything right. We absolutely are not. Nobody is going to. But at least let's recognise it and talk to each other when we're not getting it right. And hope that, I hope is that people realise we are doing things with the best of intention, if you know what I mean. So it's like Jenny always says that, even if somebody says something like, oh, you have autism, and she identifies as autistic, she's like, well, as long as behind it that I know that there's love, respect, and the person isn't intending to hurt me or harm me, then we can deal with it, right? Because then you can just talk about it. I guess it's culture, isn't it? It's the culture that we've created over the years. We're not always going to get everything right, absolutely not perfect, but we will try and listen and we will try and respond.
Most definitely.
So, I mean, it's going to be impossible to get it for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when everybody is neurodivergent, or a large number of people that we work in our team are neurodivergent, because then it's not just all going to be one way and that's it. It's always going to be, that's not how they see it, or that's not how I see it, and that's not how I communicate. But we encourage other employers to do it, so we have to do it. We have a responsibility to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. I had something I was going to say then that was really good and went in.
Ellen, I have a quick question while Sarah tries to remember that. Where would you see Casper going in the future in terms of this balance of, what have you got any thoughts or kind of visions for Casper? If you're secretly working to take my job,
I can definitely see the route you're trying to take, and it's definitely the right one. I think definitely, providing those opportunities for people who are currently members to be able to move into volunteer roles or into paid roles, be it within Casper, or I've been helping with the volunteer group as well, and they are absolutely loving their volunteering experiences, but they wouldn't get that without Casper.
No,
they wouldn't be able to get those organised without CASPA being able to help facilitate those things, or have the skills to, put together a CV and things like that. With regards to the future, yeah, I mean, definitely having that member voice as part of the staff team as well is really going to help inform things in the future. And what you said about, recording my own experiences, or like Sam or Aisha or Jenny recording their experiences of being a member, becoming staff, having that for the future to help inform maybe induction policies for the future for those who are autistic or neurodivergent as well. You're definitely taking steps in the right direction to support that.
Brilliant. Good. And that is what we can do, right? Just keep pushing forward.
And I remembered.
Yay!
So the wonderful Connects team, who are just phenomenal guys, have created a video. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Helen.
No, I don't think I have.
So it's been sent out this morning to us. I had to beg to see it first because they obviously show it to the Connect team. But it's about being autistic and employed.
Nice.
And how they found it, the struggles, and all things.
I knew this was coming, but I didn't know they'd done it already. That was super efficient.
Yeah, so it was done this morning. So I haven't watched it all.
Where is it?
You want me to send it to you, don't you? The feedback, just Chloe, the message. Let me read you the message from Chloe. So we've got an extremely talented Mike Hines with us. We're extremely lucky, who is incredible at animation. Right, the opening line is Mike Hines, I'm crazy impressed. How amazing is that? Honestly, it was beautiful to watch and to see the journey you've all gone on and put together like that. Connects is something truly special. I think you should definitely share it to the staff group. It's a wonderful piece of work. So it is coming to the staff soon and it will go public soon. But we was asked to do this by Matthew Catchpole from the Borough.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it was that piece of work. Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Matt Catchpole, he's the autism worker, in the SEND reforms department at the local authority.
Yeah. So of how it works, what helps, and it's been a learning curve for us as well, isn't it? And I know with Lucy, we sort of speak with Lucy a lot, and Lucy and James were probably our first.
Yeah, James, Ryan, Harley, Lucy, King, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they were sort of our first to become staff, but then because we didn't have the adult service, they stopped being members. So it was now we're just
dynamic,
the members and the staff members. So it's really, really and it's great learning for all of us, right?
Yeah,
which is what we love.
Casper Connects is staffed almost solely by autistic people, right? So we have a team of about 5 or 6.
All.
Well, Chloe's still involved, but yes, as in so Lucy's manager, yeah?
Yep.
And then you've got Mike, Jenny, William now,
Chloe Mac,
Rob. Yeah. Amazing. So that was our first real opportunity, and that was from the Innovation Fund money from the local authority, or from Bromley Third Sector Enterprise, to genuinely put money where our mouth is and say, let's just put together a team of people who will be brilliant at developing this server and moderating it, and doing everything it's almost like a microcosm of Casper, isn't it? But online. It's got everything that Casper's got: the activities, the staffing, the well-being sessions, the safeguarding, everything about it is like a little microcosm of Casper in itself, creating an amazing community. It's precious. Sarah's just got a very important message through us.
And it's great for the adults because it means we can stay connected with CASPA. So when I go home to Ireland, I can still, when I was at home during the summer, I was still able to attend the wellbeing sessions on a Wednesday, could still connect with everyone through the Discord channels, share how my holiday was going and things like that. And it's a great way for us to connect. And because I was on that before I came to face-to-face sessions, and because I was going to the wellbeing sessions on a Wednesday, that made it much easier for me to join the face-to-face sessions, because it wasn't me going in blind and not knowing anyone or anything. I knew what Chloe looked like. Did you not? I was on Connect for about 3 weeks before I went face-to-face.
Well, that is a brilliant testimony. Jenny's going to have to capture that one at some point. That's brilliant, because I think when we set it up, that's the sort of thing we hoped would happen. Like, one of the objectives was to, get people involved online that maybe wouldn't be so confident just to walk into a space, and then transition them to the face-to-face. I didn't realise that is absolutely brilliant. Another
being able to recognise and put names with some people at the club it made a huge difference for me to be able to do that, because I have severe anxiety. I hadn't left the house really properly since lockdown had began. So going in and knowing at least some names of people.
Yeah, and an energy.
I wasn't able to speak to any of them. I was practically non-verbal at the time. But it helped. It definitely helped.
Yeah, I love that. That's brilliant. Yeah, and that's the power of Connects. If any of the Connects team are listening, or if you catch up, that is absolutely one of the key goals for that. Yeah. Okay. Talking about the volunteering group, Sarah, we have a few people to thank, don't we, who have been involved in providing volunteer placements. Do you want
Yes, we do. And Ellen's been involved in that as well, haven't you? You've been doing the group.
Yep.
Sorry, William's asked me when we're going to do the aeroplane.
He wants to know when you're doing the wing walk.
We'll do it. We will wing walk together. I promise you. Right. So, the volunteering group. So we have the wonderful fish and chip shop in Petswood with the wonderful Serena, who people may have seen tagged on Facebook and Instagram, supporting one of our young members on a Thursday. And the message I got was, I can't believe how something I take for granted of going to work is so huge, and how I've just always taken it for granted. Yeah. And how it's truly opened her eyes to, she should be helping more. All local businesses should be helping more.
And the benefit, I guess, for her business to have somebody involved. Yeah. And she, I got a message saying, he's really helped me out today. This was on Thursday, because I had to work tonight, and he's done pretty much all the jobs I would have had to have done tonight. Like, I'm so grateful. And it's like, it's beneficial on both parts. The member that's there is truly doing the work. I heard that he said to somebody, I'm a working man now. I thought, I love that. Yeah, and he got lots of cards as well.
Did what? Lots of cards congratulating him on his new job and things, which is lovely. Yeah. And we also have them at Bromley Little Theatre. Yeah. Big shout out to them. They're incredible with us.
Bromley Little Theatre are a brilliant partner.
Space Hire. We've got Shakespeare in Love coming up soon, where all the money raised from the tickets goes to us. So we've got to make sure that everyone books onto that. And then we're at the Pavilion, and we've been working in soft play and the bowling, is it, Ellen?
The bowling or the bar?
The bar area. Yeah, so we've one person doing soft play and bowling, and then the other person is in the bar area. And I think the plan is that they will swap over after a few weeks, so they'll both get to experience both roles.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And the reason that we know that we are, so grateful for these organisations locally, partnering with us, is because it's not easy to fold in a volunteer. It's not easy to have a work experience person. You've got to find them work, and you've got to find something meaningful. You've got to support them. But when it's somebody else who maybe has additional needs, especially someone who's neurodivergent, who we know most organisations, most employers seem to struggle to include autistic people in their workplaces, which is why the data and the statistics around adults in this country having employment are so horrendous. So we are very appreciative of what the additional work that goes into including people into your workplace, which is why we're, doubly, triply grateful. However, we'd also like to show off a bit and say, aren't they amazing? It's beneficial to you to have autistic people in your workplace.
Yeah, and the feedback is exactly that from the employers. Exactly that. Yeah. It's beneficial. It's, you know, it's their favourite part of the week. So that just sums it all up. But I think we're going to have to wind it up, aren't we?
Yeah, I've got a meeting in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, we've both got one bang on 11. I think
do you know what mine is? I was going to say, what's yours, Sarah? Because mine is a meeting with somebody called Candida from Signal in Lewisham.
Yeah, I saw that.
Similar organisation to Casper.
Yeah. I might try and come on yours for a little bit and then jump on mine. Nice. I'm meeting with Kim. We meet every Monday to discuss all the social media, the plan of attack, how we're going with everything. So me and Kim meet, and then we have the supervisors meeting at 1 o'clock as well today. So we're sort of embedding lots of sort of catch-up time with the staff. And we had an amazing, just something I want to quickly talk about. Last week, Ellen, you was on it as well. We had an amazing staff meeting. And we had people take over our staff meeting and talk about iHeart.
Brilliant.
Which was brilliant, wasn't it, Ellen?
Yeah, Ellen messaged me about it, actually.
It was really fantastic.
I absolutely loved that session. I really enjoyed it.
Honestly, Ellen, iHeart is amazing. At some point, maybe in the future, you might want to do the training yourself to be a facilitator. It is so groundbreaking.
Yeah. And it was just, we're sort of going to do we're trying to put together a wellbeing package for the staff at the moment, along with everything else we're trying to do. So sometimes it doesn't come as quick as we'd want, but we are looking into it because we feel that actually we need to look after our staff as well.
Yeah, it's a big point of discussion amongst employers. You know, having a wellness agenda. That's something that Successful Mums were asking me about. What is our wellness agenda for the staff? It's important.
Another message, we just had a really gorgeous message. We've got a group of children going from a local school down to our cafe today. Yep. And one of our staff works at the school that the children are going from to the cafe. So yeah, it's nice. It's put a little buzz. So yeah, if you're at the you'll see them today, Ellen. You're at the cafe, aren't you?
He's in the office, I think. And so what are you up to?
I'm currently in the office. I think I will stay in the office.
Ellen, what are you up to today then? Are you policy working?
I am policy working, and first aid certs should be coming through in the next half hour as well for everyone who did those yesterday.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. That's efficient. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Right. We're all moving on. Right. Let's tie it up. William, you'll have to come on another week, darling. But I'm sure we'll see you in and around the cafe at some point this week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hope you enjoyed having the lovely Ellen bring her brain and presence to the party. Because we're certainly enjoying having you.
It was lovely to be here.
Most definitely. One last thing, we have our Mother's Day afternoon tea on Saturday. Our Ellen again, our gorgeous 18 plus crew.
I'll be there.
Shopping for it. They've designed the menu, I believe. They're preparing all the food, serving all the food. It's £15, bottomless tea and coffee, lovely scones and some food. Please book on. It means so much to, the staff that are giving their time for free and volunteering it. Myself and Liz will be there. Ellen will be there, supporting the 18 plus, and we really want them to be able to put on this event. Yeah. So please book. It's at the link.
And they're really excited. They've planned a really lovely menu for this.
Yeah, nice.
So please book. Bring your mum, bring your friend, bring anyone.
Come. Take it. It's not no children.
I believe it's no children. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think we could squeeze some children in if that's the stopper. Like, let us know and we can do that, because we just really want this event to go ahead for our 18 plus guys.
Yeah, of course.
So that they can, really show off their skills that they've been learning, especially where they've been going to the Wood Lodge and part of the volunteering scheme and talking with people. So please book on. We really want this to happen. My son is running around in his walker with a metal pole. I think it's time to shoot things.
Brilliant.
So
okay, good, right, lovely.
Thank you, everyone.
We've just been invited to an amazing iHeart evening as well, Sarah. So
yeah, I can't do it. It's the day before because this Thursday as well. We're going to O2E.
Yes, we are.
I'm taking
I need to
myself
organise
and
that.
Kirsty are taking 4 wonderful members, 2 from the over 18s and 2 from seniors, to go to the O2E launch night and sort of mingle with the gorgeous people that raise lots of money for us.
Yeah.
Maybe even put a few challenges their way. Who knows?
William, you know the answer to that. If you mean, can your dog come wing walking? I'm assuming the answer is going to be no. And if you're meaning what I think you're meaning, which is, can your dog come to the cafe? You know the answer.
Maybe William means the afternoon tea.
Oh, maybe he means the afternoon tea. It's at the link. But I don't think we can have dogs there.
But you would have to do...
If everyone brought their dogs, I think it would be carnage.
Yeah, every single pooper scooper possible. Every blade of grass that it touched would have to be picked up.
Sorry, Will. We love people. Dogs, not so much.
Right.
Okay. Have a lovely week. Take care, guys. See you later, Ellen.
Bye.